Voting is underway in Croatia this Sunday as EU critic Zoran Milanovic faces centre-right candidate Dragan Primorac.
Ukrainian security says the arrest of 2 North Korean soldiers in Kursk is indisputable evidence of Pyongyang's involvement in the war.
Thousands of Romanians took to the streets in Bucharest to call for new elections after the recent vote was annulled.
European and Arab diplomats meet in Saudi Arabia to discuss Syria's future after the fall of the Assad regime.
Voting is underway this Sunday in Croatia's presidential election runoff. Left-leaning incumbent President Zoran Milanovic is up against centre-right candidate Dragan Primorac. Milankovic, who gathered nearly half of the votes in the first round, is expected to win, according to the latest polls. He is against military Western support for Ukraine and is critical of the EU and NATO. Primorac, on the other hand, has repeatedly stated that Croatia's place is in the West. He is backed by the Prime Minister and Croatia's government, but his presidency bid has been marred by a high-level corruption case. Croatia has around 3.5 million eligible voters. Their turnout in the first round was 46%, the lowest of any presidential election in 15 years. The first results are expected in the early evening of Sunday.
A spokesperson for Ukraine's security service has said the arrest of 2 North Korean soldiers in Kursk is indisputable evidence of Pyongyang's involvement in the war. The 2 unnamed men were captured by Ukrainian forces on Saturday and have since reportedly been sent to Kyiv for questioning. Artem Dektyurenko said one of the men was carrying a Russian military ID card issued in the name of a different person. Video released by the SSU purports to show the 2 men in detention, apparently in Kyiv. In his nightly video address, President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed the 2 North Koreans were being questioned by investigators with the help of Korean translators. Zelensky said their presence on the battlefield is proof of Russia doing everything to prolong and escalate the war. There's been no comment from Pyongyang about the capture of the 2 soldiers.
European and Middle Eastern diplomats have met in Saudi Arabia on Sunday to discuss Syria's future after the fall of the Assad regime in December. According to the UN, 7 in 10 Syrians are in need of aid, the delivery of which is complicated by sanctions. The EU's top diplomat, Kaja Kallas, underlined the Union's priorities, which would be prerequisite for the lifting of sanctions.
In Syria there are a lot of different groups, so it has to include all those groups. We also want to see no radicalization. We want to see inclusiveness of women also in the process.
Germany's Foreign Affairs Minister Annalena Baerbock called for a, quote, smart approach to the sanctions that would enable aid to reach Syrian civilians. She also announced an additional €50 million in aid for food, emergency shelters and medical care. EU foreign ministers are due to meet on the 27th of January to discuss the sanctions against Syria.
Thousands of supporters of the right-wing Alliance for the Unity of Romanians attended demonstrations in Bucharest on Sunday, calling for new presidential elections after the recent vote was annulled. The party's leader, George Simeon, organized the march, calling on his supporters to protest against the decision. Călin Georgescu, a right-wing populist, came first in the first round of the presidential race. But allegations of electoral violations and Russian interference led to the unprecedented move by the Constitutional Court to cancel the second round and annul the race. It came as Romania's outgoing president, Klaus Iohannis, tasked the incumbent Prime Minister, Marcel Ciolacu, with leading a new pro-European coalition government. He said he will stay in office until his successor is appointed and has called on Romanians to respect the court's ruling.